TED Talk slow version: How to make stress your friend. I have a confession to make. But first, I wanted you to make a little confession to me. In the past year, I want to raise your hands if you experience relatively little stress. Anyone? How about moderate amounts of stress? Who's experienced a lot of stress? Yes, me too. But that is my confession. My confession is that I'm a healthy psychologist and my mission is to help people be happier and healthier. But I fear that something I've been teaching for the last 10 years is doing more harm than good. And it has to do with stress. For years, I've been telling people stress makes you sick. It increases risk of everything from common cold to cardiovascular disease. Basically, I've turned stress into the enemy. But I have changed my mind about stress. And today, I want to change yours. Let me start with a study that made me rethink my whole approach to stress. This study tracked 30,000 adults in the United States for 8 years, and they started by asking people, how much stress do you experience in the last year? They also asked, do you believe that stress is harmful for your health? And then they probably themselves find out who died. Okay. Some bad news first. People who experienced a lot of stress in the previous year has a 43% increased risk of dying. But that was only true for the people who also believe that stress is harmful for your health. People who experienced a lot of stress but did not view stress as harmful were no more likely to die. In fact, they had the lowest risk of dying on anyone in study, including people who have relatively little stress. But research estimates that over the 8 years they were striking death, 182,000 Americans died prematurely, not for stress, but for the belief that stress is bad for you. That is over 20,000 deaths a year. Now, if an estimate is correct, that would make believe stress is bad for you the 15th largest cause of death in the United States last year, killing more people than skin cancer, HIV, AIDS, and homicide. You can see why this study freaked me out. Here I've been spending so much energy telling people stress is bad for your health. So this has got me wondering, can you change how you think about stress, make you healthier? And here the science says is yes. When you change your minds about stress, you can change your body's response to stress. Now, to explain how this works, I want you all to pretend that you are participants in the study designed to stress you out. It's called the social stress test. You come into the laboratory and you're told you have to give a 5 minutes imprinted speech on your personal weakness to a panel of extra veterans sitting around in front of you, and to make sure you feel the pressure, they are lights and the camera in your face, kind of like this. And the evaluator have been trained to give you discouraging non-verbal feedback, like this. Now you're sufficiently demoralized. Time for part 2, a math test. And unbeknownst to you, the experiment has been trained to harass you during it. Now, we're going to all do this together. It's gonna be fun. For me. Okay. I want you all to count backwards from 996 in increase of 7. You've got to out loud and fast as you can. Starting with 996. Go. Go faster. Faster, please. You're going too slow. Stop. That guy made a mistake. We're gonna have to start all over again. You're not very good at this, are you? Okay, you guys, the idea. If you're actually in the study, you'll probably be a little stressed out. Your heart might be pounding, you might be breathing faster, maybe breaking out to a sweat. But normally we interpret these physical changes as anxiety or signs that we are coping very well with the pressure. But what if you view that instead as a sign that your body was energized, was preparing you to meet this challenge? Now, that is exactly what participants were told in a study conducted at Harvard University. Before they went through the social stress test, they were taught to receive the stress response as helpful. That pounding heart is preparing you for action. If you're breathing faster, it's not a problem, it's getting more oxygen to your brain. And participants should learn to view this stress response as helpful for their performance, while they're less stressed out, less anxious, more confident. Their most fascinating finding to me was how their physical stress response to change. Now, in typical stress response, your heart rate goes up and your blood vessel constricts like this. And this is one of the reasons that chronic stress is sometimes associated with cardiovascular disease. It runs healthy to be. But in study, when participants view their stress response as helpful, their blood vessel stays relaxed like this. The heart was still pounding, but this is much healthier cardiovascular profile. It actually looks a lot like what happens in moments of joy and courage. Of our life of stressful experiences, this one biological change could be the difference between stress-induced heart attacks at age 50 and living well into your 90s. And this is really what the new science of stress reveals, and how you think about stress matters. So my goal as a healthy has changed. I no longer want to get rid of stress. I want to make you better at stress. And we just did a little intervention. If you raise your hand and say you have a lot of stress in the last year, we could save your life, because hopefully the next time your heart is pounding for stress, you're going to remember this talk. And you're going to think to yourself, this is my body helping me rise to a challenge. And when you view stress in that way, your body relieves you and your stress response becomes healthier. Now, I said I have over a decade demonized stress to redeem myself from. So we're gonna do one more intervention. I wanted to tell you about one of the underappreciated aspects of stress response, and the idea is that stress makes you social. To understand this side of stress, we need to talk about the hormone oxytocin. And I know oxytocin has already got as much hyper as a hormone can get, even it has on cute nickname and color hormone, because it's released when you hurt someone. But this is a very small part of what oxytocin is involved in. Oxytocin is neurohormone. It fine-tunes your brain's social instincts. It primes you to do things that strengthen close relationships. Oxytocin makes you crave physical contact with your friends and family. It enhances your empathy, and it makes you more willing to help and support the people you care about. Some people have even suggested we should snort oxytocin to become more compassionate and caring. But here is what most people don't understand about oxytocin. It's a stress hormone. Your pituitary gland pumps this stuff out as part of the stress response. It is much a part of your stress response as the adrenaline that makes your heart pound. When your oxytocin release in the stress response, it is motivating you to seek support. Your biological stress response is nudging you to tell someone how you feel instead of bottling it up. Your stress response wants to make sure you notice when someone else in your life is struggling. so that you can support each other. When life is difficult, your stress response wants you to be surrounded by people who care about you. Okay, so how is knowing this side of stress going to make you healthier? Well, oxytocin doesn't only act on your brain, it also acts on your body. And one of its main roles in your body is to protect your cardiovascular systems from the effects of stress. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It also helps your blood vessels stay relaxed during stress. But my favorite effects on the body is actually on the heart. Your heart has a receptor for this hormone. And oxytocin helps heart cells regenerate and heals from any stress-induced damage. This stress hormone strengthens your heart. And the cool thing is that all of these physical benefits of oxytocin are enhanced by social contact and social support. So when you reach out to others under stress, either to seek support or to help someone else, you release more of this hormone, your stress response becomes healthier, and you actually recover faster from stress. I found this amazing that your stress response has a built-in mechanism for stress resilience, and that mechanism is human connection. I want to finish my telling about one more study. And listen up, because this study could also save a life. This study tracked about 1,000 adults in the United States, and they ranged in age from 34 to 93. And they started the study by asking, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? They also asked, how much time have you spent helping out friends, neighbors, people in your communities? And then they used public records for the next 5 years to find out who died. Okay, so the bad news first. For every major stressful life experience like financial difficulties or a family crisis, that increased the risk of dying by 30%. But, and I hope you are expecting a but by now, but that wasn't true for everyone. People who spent time caring for others showed absolutely no stress-related increase in dying, 0. Caring creates resilience. And so we see once again that the harmful effects of stress on your health are not inevitable. How you think and how you act can transform your experience of stress. When you choose to view your stress response as helpful, you create the biology of courage. And when you choose to connect with others under stress, you can create resilience. Now, I wouldn't necessarily ask for more stressful experience in my life, but this science has given me a whole new appreciation for stress. Stress gives us access to our hearts. The compassionate heart that finds joy and meaning in connecting with others, and yes, your pounding physical heart working so hard to give you strength and energy. And when you choose to view stress in this way, you're not just getting better at stress, You're actually making a pretty profound statement. You're saying that you can trust yourself to handle life's challenges. And you're remembering that you don't have to face them alone. Thank you.